Hi, this is the team at Easel, and today we're going to be walking through the machine profile setup. Start by selecting Machine at the top of the project page. From the drop-down, select Setup New Machine. Here you'll be brought to a page that welcomes you to the machine setup. Select the blue button to start the machine setup. The first page you'll be brought to is a Choose CNC Manufacturer page. You'll be given a list of a bunch of different CNC manufacturers. Select the one that pertains to your machine. If you do not see your machine manufacturer, go ahead and select I have a different CNC manufacturer that is not listed, and you'll be walked through a manual CNC manufacturer input setup. I'm setting up a Your Home 3018 Pro, so I'll select Your Home, and then I'll be able to choose my CNC model. I can see the 3018 Pro here, as well as a bunch of other different Your Home options. If I don't see my Your Home machine listed, I can select Other, and I'll be able to put in that information manually. I'm going to select Your Home, and it'll give me an option to enter my machine details. My make and model have already been chosen. I can adjust the type of controller I have, or the work area here. The defaults should be accurate to the machines as they're listed on the manufacturer's website, but certainly you're able to change those if you need to. Once you've confirmed your machine details, click Next. Now you'll be prompted to connect to Easel. You'll want to power on your CNC machine, plug in the USB cable, and make sure your e-stop is not engaged. Once all of those have been done, go ahead and click on Connect to Easel. You'll see a window that says Connecting to your machine. Once it's connected, you'll see some green text at the bottom here that says Connected to Easel. You can then click Next. Next, you'll be asked to choose the machine accessories. There are two options, Z-probe and dust shoe. Selecting dust shoe adds a dust shoe accessory to your machine profile, which means that during the carve setup, when you are moving through the setup, you'll be asked to raise the bit slightly to attach the dust shoe. My machine does not have a dust shoe, but it does have a Z-probe. When I select the Z-probe option, I'll be given a second option to indicate my Z-probe plate height. The plate height is indicated by this little brass puck here in the image, and it's very important to measure the puck height because they are different across machines, and it's really important to get that accurate because it affects your carving depth. And so we would recommend measuring it with digital calipers. Once you have that measurement, you can input it in inches or in millimeters. Once you have that measurement, go ahead and click on Next. Now you'll be asked to text your X, Y, and Z axes for your machines. Here, you'll be able to jog your machine left and right, back and front, and up and down on each axis. And what you're looking for here is A, that the axis moves, and B, that it moves in the correct direction. I suggest starting with one axis at a time. You'll select move right, move left, and then once you've confirmed that that movement is successful, go ahead and check the box next to it. If for whatever reason the axis moves in the wrong direction, go ahead and click on this blue help button and you'll be able to change the firmware settings. Move through and test each axis for the correct movement and that it is moving. And once you've checked everything and confirmed it's moving in the correct direction, go ahead and select Next. Now, you'll be able to test the spindle. There are two types of spindles that you can set up in the machine profile. Automatic spindles, which are connected to your machine, and power on via a button press in Easel, or manual spindles, which typically are not connected to your machine, plug in via like a wall outlet, and are powered on via a switch on the spindle itself. If you select manual spindle, you'll be able to move on to next, but for an automatic spindle, you'll be able to test your spindle, and you'll do that by clicking this green Turn Spindle On button. Your spindle will power on, you'll then be able to turn it off, and you'll confirm the movement, and then you'll be able to continue. So you'll turn the spindle on, turn it off, confirm the movement, and continue. Now you'll be able to test the machine homing. In this instance, what happens is the machine will essentially move on the z-axis and then the x and the y-axis to hit the limit switches. Once it hits those switches, it will set a calibration point, which is the homing point. If you do not have limit switches, you can go ahead and skip this homing step. If you do, go ahead and select Enable Homing and start calibration. And you'll see the z-axis move up first, and then it'll move along the x and the y-axis to the calibration position. Once the machine is done homing, you'll see completed successfully and you can continue with the setup. The final step in the machine profile setup is to set up your Z-probe. Start by plugging in your Z-probe to your machine. Once your Z-probe is plugged into your machine, go ahead and attach the clip to the collet or bit of your spindle. Once your clip is attached, select the checkbox next to attach the clip to collet to confirm that it is attached. Then lift the touch plate to the bit to complete the connection. Once the connection is complete, you'll see a green circle where there says no contact. Once you have achieved contact, you'll be able to continue with the setup. If you do not have a Z-probe, you can click here to skip, and that will skip that step. You've now completed the machine profile setup and are ready to carve.